3 reasons why, if you sell jewelry in your boutique, you must offer welding. And I'm also going to address 8 concerns with micro-welding. Reason number 1, permanent jewelry is a massive trend, and the only way you can do it is through welding and no other way. I've been in the jewelry industry for about 30 years, and in that time, how many bankable trends have I seen? How many massive jewelry trends are there? There was the 4mm bicone bracelets of the crystals that you bought in a bundle with a ribbon. There was the turquoise trend. Everyone had to have some genuine turquoise in the mid-2000s. Then the Pandora bracelet trend and personalized beads with meaning, and healing crystal with the Mala bracelet. Let me see. I think that's all I can think of at this point. Anyway, please, if you can think of any that I've missed, put it in the comments. But that's all that I can think of on top of my head. And permanent bracelet, though, is taking the entire industry by storm. It's like the storm of the century. So you must have it. Reason number 2, you must fight off online competitors. If you've been in business for more than 5 years, then you would have seen, even before COVID, more and more competition from online retailers. And then because of COVID, many more people have been forced to shop online. And your customers who used to come in and enjoy the interaction, the service, the in-person service, they've been forced to move online during COVID, and now they can purchase anything. There's so many more product offerings online. And those people have been able to, they've become very sophisticated. There are live chats, social media, videos for product selection, and actually you can get a wedding dress or graduation dress. You take the measurements and it's FedExed over to you in a matter of a week. So there are all sorts of competitors that we didn't see before. And now you have to defend your territory and be able to have the product offerings, the service that your customers value that your online competitors cannot provide. What does that look like? Well, it's, for example, to be able to go, and yes, you provide a beautiful shopping experience, the ambience, the personal interaction. Now, beyond that, something that those people cannot offer is for them to come to your store and you are measuring for them how a necklace drapes, or they can try on different things so that it goes with what they've got, the collection, how it looks, have that personal touch in the service, but at the same time, be able to have it so that it is welded, fixed on the spot. You don't have to send it off a week later. It's right there. You have the instant gratification that they cannot go and get from an online service, and the personal interaction. So you need a way of bringing them back into your store and offering all of that cannot be replicated by all those people you compete with in the world around. Reason number 3, if you don't have the capability to weld, your brick and mortar competitors will, and eventually your customers will migrate. Micro-welding technology is here to stay. It is highly accessible, widely accepted, and it will become mainstream. It is only a matter of time. And it takes so much effort and expense for the store to build the relationship, to get to know the customers, and to serve them well. There is amount of loyalty that you build, but it's a shame that if you lag behind and they want that service, they go to someone else, still loyal to you, but eventually now they're exposed to your competitors who will also work hard, just as hard as you, to build that loyalty. The threat of being replaced in this competitive industry is real, and we've seen it, and we know that it happens. So this is a giant threat to your business existence. So now I'm going to talk about 8 common concerns towards permanent bracelets and micro-welding that I've heard, and we're going to break those down. Concern number 1, permanent jewelry is impractical and a passing fad. I remember I scoffed at Pandora bracelets because they were silly, I felt. There was no design sense, and yet customers were willing to pay $85 for a bead that cost no more than $2 to make. And in my mind, that's silly. That's a passing fad for sure. It's not going to go anywhere. But in hindsight, well, you know how that ended. The joke's on me. In hindsight, I understand that now. People are able to place meaning, relevance, have the emotional connection to the bead that's all their own. And I think permanent bracelets, necklaces, or whatnot, anything that is super customizable, will allow the customer to have that connection. And so that in itself, being able to offer a platform for expression that's unique to them, that is going to be here to stay. There is value in it. And I want to say one further thing. I've been in the industry for 30 years, 20 of which I was wholesaling finished jewelry to boutiques. I would hand make, design, hand make, and wholesale. And I was very, very successful for good 15 years. And then I was starting to struggle. There were other trends coming, and I tweaked a little bit. I was trying to offer those things, but I would also dismiss certain things as fads. Gosh, that isn't. And I felt that I'm going to stay true to what I represent. That I am handmade. I stand for handmade jewelry that was extremely well crafted, accessibly priced. I'm a really honest, hardworking business owner, and I develop great relationship and loyalty with my customers. One season of slow sales, another one followed by another, and I would still think, no, it's going to come around. It's going to come back because I am classic, tried and true. I've been that successful so many years, there's no reason why. So I stayed, and of course, I struggled, and eventually I folded that part. On top of that, I was a little bit burnt out because of lack of success, but I think in hindsight, that was my fault. And I understand why it happened. But I'm not embarrassed to talk about it because I think every venerable business in the history of time failed at some point when they could not take the leap and keep with the trend, where there has been a shock, a paradigm change brought on by new technology, so that you're never going to go back to the way it was. And those businesses just never made that leap. So, Sidetrack, for example, used to be steam sail and then steamships, cargo. Oh, there was the Pony Express, which was the biggest mail delivery company in the US. I think at some point it was the biggest employer in the US. Then they had railroads. So the Pony Express didn't make it. Railroads, those who failed to go from railroads to invest in airplanes died by the wayside, and so on and so forth. And I think at this point, there's a juncture here. Yes, it might be a fad, so you think, but if it is something that is true to human nature of super customization, people can relate to it, it means something to them, and brought on by technological change, I think that is here to stay. And I think it would not be wise to ignore it. Concern or objection number 2. Permanent jewelry is being offered by salons, nail salons, and spas. That's not me. Yes, it is being offered by salons, lash bars, spas, and nail salons, and they do a great job of it. However, I feel that is mostly because jewelry stores have not been very fast on the ready being able to offer this. And I think as a business that specializes in jewelry or fashion goods, you are in a position to actually be the better person to deliver this, because you have a lot of product knowledge in jewelry, expertise, as well as you're already selling all of that to them. I think leaving it to an industry and canceling and thinking that only belongs to that subset, I think is the wrong attitude. Concern and objection number 3. If I offer permanent jewelry or jewelry without a clasp, people are going to will change their minds and want to cut off, want a refund. It's going to be a hassle, so I don't want to deal with it. So what if people want to have the clasp taken off and they change their minds and want a clasp? Then weld a clasp for them. It's fine. Now that you've actually made a customized piece of traditional jewelry for them. And there are many creative ways of providing custom jewelry, such as in the form of permanent jewelry, an achievement bracelet, for example. So it's a permanent bracelet, it's welded on, and it's a reminder to persevere, to work at it. And when they reach their goal, their achievement, after they've strived for it, they can cut it off, put a clasp, and you weld a different one for their next goal. The same thing could be for engagement. And when they get married, you cut it, and now it's a bracelet. Could be it for graduation. There's so many other things. Could be a sobriety bracelet. So there are many options for that. And having it start with a permanent bracelet, permanent piece of jewelry, and changing it, there's nothing wrong. And it actually is a journey that you can participate in, their life journey. I think it is actually a benefit. Concern or obstacle number 4. The market is already saturated. No, the market is not already saturated, because the demand, like so much consumer demand out there, that is spurred on by technological change or innovation, it is here to stay. It just evolves into something else that utilizes that technical innovation. And if in fact there are many players with the welder offering permanent jewelry or welding service in your area, to that I say, when you started your jewelry business, selling jewelry, I'm sure that more than likely there were already other players in your geographical region. And yet you've been able to compete successfully. And why is that? Because there are unique offerings that you were able to give, to provide in terms of service, look, ideas that made you different. This is not any different from that, but you need to be able to offer it, even especially if it is being offered by your competitors or many people out there. Concern number 5. I've heard about permanent jewelry a long time ago and poo-pooed that idea as being silly. And now I don't want to feel silly and to backtrack. No need to feel compelled to stick to your original decision. Remember, a warrior who is successful and wise is one who can change strategies based on the changing landscape. To be able to backtrack and go an alternative route is a perfectly legitimate strategy, and sometimes it can be the wisest strategy. Concern and objection number 6. A lot of store owners feel that they already have a full range of chain lengths from 14, 16, 18, all the way to 36, because I actually sell that to them. Or I used to take special requests at making things at specific lengths in customizing certain things. I'm fast. I was fast, but still, the turnaround time with shipping was a week. Customization and the desire for that is here to stay. If, as a store, you're able to have them come in, measure, and be able to make and finish while they shop exactly the length that they want, they've had it measured, and it's a matter of minutes as opposed to days. Now you're going to be able to compete with all of the online places, and also any competitor who does not, any of your brick and mortar competitors who does not have that capability. They will come to you because they're able to satisfy that the instant gratification, plus have the shop experience and all that customization all in one. Concern or objection number 7. It's a big investment. I've heard that upwards of $4,000 investment, and unless you are doing permanent jewelry offering that, it becomes very expensive to offer that kind of convenience. To that I say, actually there are a number of different welders out there, and there are ones like laser welders that are $50,000, and there are arc welders that are very popular now, and a number of different brands out there. It is in fact a lot more accessible and affordable than you think. Actually, for any of you, please, if you already own a welder or you've tried them out, please in the comment section share with us the brands that you've used. You can all read what is there. I think that something that is easy to operate, accessible, can be had very affordably. As a business investment, I think it's of great value. If you can't, or you have any questions, or you can't find what you might be looking for, feel free to email me, and I'd be glad to help. Concern or objection number 8. Learning to weld is a huge challenge. I know a number of you are fearful of that, and I can empathize, because if you're like me, and I'm technically challenged, learning to operate a new machine can be a daunting thing. But there are many resources out there, and honestly, if I can do it, you can certainly do it. There are many resources out there. There are paid and free online videos. There are training sessions that are in person and some that are strictly online but Zoom. There are all sorts of lessons in any sort of training out there, lots to choose from. And no matter what kind of learner you are, either hands-on or visual, you like to read and tinker and then get someone to give you feedback and guidance or mentoring, there are many resources and communities out there. Incidentally, again, if any of you who are watching have gone through training or know of websites or any sort of resources that you feel are important, beneficial, please put it in the notes. Other people would love to share that. So I think that is not much of a challenge. And I've been able to teach customers, my friends, customers here who've never welded before, they're able to master that in under an hour. And it's not because of me, really. And if you have any sort of questions, you can also email me, but put it in the comments. Maybe someone else could answer it better. Really, it's not a challenge. And if you can operate a photocopier and a pair of pliers, you're good to go. You've got the requisite skills. I guarantee it. To wrap up, here's a tip. If still you're unsure of how to operate it, a welder, whether or not it's for you, whether or not there's enough demand, etc., and you just want to see it in operation while you make the decision, what you can do actually is reach out to permanent jewelry artists out there, providers who are willing to do pop-ups. Make an effort on your end to contact as many of your customers as possible. Promote that event, have them come in. You will be able to help the jewelry artist establish her business, help pay for expenses and machines and whatnot, while you get to learn and interact with your customers. Do market research to find out what they think. And I think it's a win-win. So, by the way, in that case, what you can do is, if you don't know of any, or you're in an area that you're not sure about whether or not there's anyone providing that, you can send me an email telling me what city you're in, because I can search my database to find whom I've sold chains to and is offering that. I can reach out to them and see if they'd be interested, and I can connect you. Or you can just, in the comments below, either if you're a jewelry artist, you can offer your services and put your city, or you're a store and you're interested, just put it in the comments, city, whether or not you're looking for someone to come in and do a pop-up at your store, or if you are an artist willing to travel and do a pop-up in that city. I think let's help each other out, get you guys connected. So comment below and we'll see where it goes. Incidentally, a customer of mine a couple of weeks ago told me, she actually thanked me for telling her about permanent jewelry, not once, but twice. I was rather insistent. And that it has now become 90% of her revenues, based on how much she reorders in chains alone on a weekly basis, I can tell you that permanent jewelry has become a huge profit generator for her. And that has encouraged me to make this video for my friends. And this one is especially for you, Christine. But I'm hoping that it has been relevant for you as well, all of you out there who have a boutique that sells jewelry. Any of you who don't know me, my name is Dana, and I have been in the wholesale jewelry business industry for 30 years and started Stones and Findings, where we wholesale premium quality chains and findings 16 years ago. I'm really grateful to be able to work in the industry that I do, doing what I do, be able to work with people who are so creative and energetic and wonderful. I'm grateful. I'm going to leave a bit more information about our company below, and I wish you all huge success and phenomenal profits.